Okay, I have 6 o'clock iPad time, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we start, just an announcement for those of you who don't know the lady to my left, that is Julie Fothergill, our new interim CIO. So, thanks Julie. All right, there should be a resolution to adopt the agenda.
Resolution number 2019-207, resolved that the agenda be adopted as amended and presented.
Question? All those in favor? It's carried. Confirmation of the minutes.
Resolution number 2019-208, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Forrester, pardon me. Resolved that the minutes from the regular council meeting and committee of the whole October 15th, 2019 be hereby approved. All statutory declarations have been complied with.
Question? All those in favor? It's carried. All right, thank you. Citizens period. I see some citizens in the audience. Was there something you'd like to speak to us about this evening?
Yeah, refer to me.
Yes, please, come step forward and name, rank, and serial number.
Okay, well, my name's Greg Caskey. I live in the PAW 31 First Street East. I've never been to a town meeting in my life.
Welcome.
The place where I live has a high volume of traffic at night time. You've never seen it? And I went to a meeting with the principal, Mary Duncan, and the counselor. And a few weeks ago, my daughter was almost murdered. She was beat up so bad she almost died. And they informed me that same night 2 other girls were beat up really bad. And a week before that, there was an elderly woman, a middle-aged woman, and 2 younger girls beat up really bad as well. And I'm really concerned because I hear a lot of kids getting beat up in this town, and they've been smashing my windows, and I'm just concerned that I'm not sure that enough is being done about this.
If I can ask, so how's your daughter?
She is 16.
No, how is she?
She's okay now, but she had a big goose egg. I mean, her face, they kicked her face so bad, like she had a bad concussion, and they said like she could have died from this.
I'm sorry. The school division knows who did it, and the RCMP?
Yeah, we know who did it. She's from Big Eddy. Her name's Jewel McNabb. The police know who did it. I'm not sure if they're even doing anything about it. It was her and 2 other girls. They surrounded her, and like I say, they beat the living daylights out of her, and I don't think they're doing anything about it.
Did this happen on school property?
It happened right beside Kelsey School. Now, they said they had 6 video cameras, but only 1 out of 6 are working. So I mean, it sounds like to me there's no cameras. The police know who did it.
And when was this? Like during the school day?
It was around 10 at night. It was at nighttime. But like I said, they also informed me there was her and 2 other girls beat up that night in different areas. And there was 4 people, an elderly woman, a middle-aged, and 2 younger girls, and it was both on a Sunday, the Sunday before.
And were charges pressed against these?
Yeah, apparently, and this was coming from the school. The school's the one that was telling me about. Oh, the people at the school said it happens between the Kelsey School and the train bridge. That's where most of the incidents are happening, all in that one area. That's where all the people are getting beat up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment on all of the ones, but from some of the ones I've heard is that the charges were not pressed because the individuals involved, I don't know if it's this one or not, weren't willing to press charges, which is...
That's what the school told me. They're too scared to put, or for one reason or another, they don't want to press charges. Well, my daughter did. I took my daughter there. She wanted to go, and she did press charges. Yeah. And the police said they'd get back to me, and they never did. So I'm not even sure if they even pursued it, or I have no idea. But like I said, she got beat up really bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, when did it happen again?
About 3 Sundays ago. It was on a Sunday. I'd say about 3 Sundays ago.
Like October the 6th kind of thing?
I would say roughly in there, yeah. 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure it was about 3 Sundays ago.
And has anyone from the RCMP been in touch with you? Any?
Nobody got back to me. Nobody got hold of me. Like, my daughter even gave me the name of one of them, and they said they'd call me back, and they never did. So now I'm even worried, what if they know where we live? About a month and a half ago, they smashed my living room window. Last year, they did it again last year. And I mean, every night, it's not bad in the wintertime, but in the summertime, almost every night, you can hear the people outside my window. There's always empty beer cans they throw over my fence. Like, I think I'm in a really bad neighborhood.
Where did you say he lives again?
Right next door to China.
Right across from the motorcycle club.
But I mean, I'm scared for my daughter's life. I'm scared for her safety, and the police don't seem to be following up too much on it. I have no idea what they did. They have her name, so I don't know what to tell you, but.
What was the last contact you had with the RCMP?
Roughly 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? And how did it end? Did they say they would get back to you?
Well, the officer that did the investigation, he said he was going on days off. He said I'd be back on Friday, so that was 5 days later. And that was, what, 2 weeks ago? And I still haven't heard anything about it.
What would you like us to do?
Set up video cameras? I don't know what to tell you, maybe.
We can send a letter to the RCMP, to the staff sergeant, and ask him to provide an update to you.
Sure, that'd be great, sure. Something like that would be good.
You know? Do we have all his contact info, Jen? Oops.
And then if you don't mind providing just your daughter's name, when an actual incident occurred, and then if you know the member's name that was dealing with it, might be helpful to,
The officer's name?
yeah, just put his name there and then might be helpful to.
I should have his card in my wallet.
You say this happened down by the Kelsey School?
Yeah, she showed me exactly. You know that old store that used to be there and it's shut down?
Okay.
It happened right there, but the next kitty corner over where the school ground is, on that corner.
Okay.
It happened right there. And you think there'd be cameras set up, but apparently they told me 5 out of 6 cameras are not working. So that's basically all my concerns, is that I'm in a bad neighborhood, the people are getting beat up, things are getting broken, the vandalism. It's I don't know, it's a bad spot, I guess.
I'm very sorry this happened to your daughter. You know, I expect better of our town, and I'm very sorry for what happened to you.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, she can't go out at nighttime. I'm scared for her to go out at night, and you shouldn't be scared to go out at night. When we were kids, we weren't scared to go out at nighttime.
All the time.
Yeah, and now I'm so scared for her to just walk out the door, so.
We will send a letter to the RCMP asking them to contact you
All right.
and provide you with an update. All right? It's
Okay, well, thank you very much.
the most I can do right now, but we will do that.
Okay. That's why I came to this meeting, so.
On another note, Craig, there are community organizations that are getting together right now that are looking at the issue of, you know, protecting the community, not just throughout the day, but in the evenings and that sort of thing. So there are organizations that are looking at this problem.
Okay.
It's not just you, it's all over the community. It's happening everywhere.
I've been hearing from other people
You
too,
know,
yeah.
I live on Traeger Drive, the opposite side of town, and in one night there was 3 car windows that got broken up. You know what I mean? So there are organizations that are trying to tackle this issue, but it's not an easy one. It's
Well, if you can find out, I'd like to join one of these organizations
For sure.
and just keep this crime down. I mean, I heard there's 14 tires slashed, people are spray painting everywhere. My yard alone, you know, my windows are getting broken. My daughter's seen the kid who did it. It was a 15-year-old boy. And the police came and he ran. As soon as the police left, he came right back into my yard. Like, they're not scared. There's no fear with these kids.
Yeah.
So I would love to join an organization like that, just to keep the crime down, let our kids walk the street.
For sure. Yeah, you know, two of the big ones are the Bear Clan. You know, they're operating within the community. They're doing community walks, that sort of
Okay.
thing. There's also Citizens on Patrol. It's another program where people are getting together to try and tackle some of these issues and go patrol and do some of the, I guess, not the legwork of the police, but, you know, another set of eyes and ears.
Yeah,
that
for
can
sure,
help.
right.
That can help the RCMP.
Just
So-
phone them, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, those are a couple of organizations,
Okay.
community organizations that are looking to,
If you could maybe give me a list of the numbers, contacts or something, I could try
We'll get that to
to.
you.
yeah, we can get that to you.
I'm
for
more
sure.
than willing to help out, because I want these kids to be safe.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get that to you, Greg.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'll let you guys carry on with your meeting.
I don't know, did you ladies have anything you wanted to say at this time, or you want, you're good yet?
The banks, like.
Oh, please, come forward.
And I mean, I'm just wondering why the homeless shelter, people have to leave at a certain hour in the morning because it's cold. Where do they go? So they're in the bank vestibules, and I don't really feel safe to go in there to get money.
Can I interrupt you for just a second? Just for the record, could you give us your name and address?
Sorry, it's Jean McPhail, and I live at 447 Bignell.
Okay? Thank you.
But I'm wondering why people have to, if it's a shelter, why it isn't open 24/7.
I can speak to that. The shelter does have limited hours. It's open from the evening till the early morning, and the reasoning behind that is because it's an emergency shelter right now. There's not funding for a 24-hour shelter. There has been a proposal that was sent out approximately a week and a half ago to apply for further funding so it can be a 24-hour service. With it being a 24-hour service, then more programming can come into play. There would be washrooms that everybody could use, as well as be warm all day long. So when you ask, where do they go?
Where do these people live? I mean, where,
Well, not everybody has a home. Not everybody doesn't have a home, but not everybody does have one. So after they leave in the morning, I'm assuming, because I don't follow them every single day, but the majority of them will go over to the soup kitchen, and they'll have a meal there and get warm until it's time for them to leave there as well. And then, yes, there's the gap. There's a huge gap in there now that the weather is cold again, where they have to wait for the door to open up. So hopefully the funding does come through and possibly be a 24-hour shelter, because right now it is just an emergency shelter.
but where do these people get the money to drink?
They would get
I mean,
They would get a check in the mail every month, like everybody else. There's people who are on the street who will help them out. There's a variety of different things, and some will shovel snow, some will rake leaves, some will go and paint a fence. I can't tell you exactly where everybody's income comes from, but those are just a few different places where they do come from.
because I mean, you see them in front of the high rise, they're fighting and drinking. And like who looks after this, or who registers this, or who, I mean, the police can't be picking these people up all the time. It's a waste of their time and our money.
I'm not sure I know what you mean by who registers it.
No, I mean, like who, if these people are fighting and drinking, and it happens all the time, you see it every day. So do the police come and pick them up, or are they just left there to,
If somebody calls the police and says that there's something that's going on in a specific area, I would assume that if they weren't out on another call, that they would go and check out the situation. I can't say whether or not the police go to every single call, because they're probably
no,
busy
they,
on other calls
they have
as
other
well.
things to do.
Yeah.
So our street people are just left to fend for themselves until it's time to go to the shelter at night? Do they live in the shelter, the street people?
By live, do you mean
I mean,
go
at
there
night,
every
they
single
have
night?
a place to go?
Pardon me?
Do they have a place to go at night?
Well, the shelter is open.
Or
to
do they
people all
actually
the
have
time.
apartments?
I can't answer that. I don't know everybody's specific living conditions. It's an emergency shelter, so if somebody is coming in asking for a bed, there's not 30 questions that are asked at the door as to, you know, whether or not you can or can't come inside. It's an emergency shelter. Does that answer
Okay.
the question?
I guess.
It's very frustrating, Jean, right now. 'cause
It
we-
is, it
We've
is.
been trying to work with the RCMP at times on different ideas, and we're finding out just how limited we are in our options, and it is frustrating.
Because, I mean, it's cold. When it's
Yeah.
cold, they shouldn't be out on the street. I mean,
Yeah, I think the homeless shelter vacates the premises around 6 in the morning, and then they, 7 a.m.? 7 a.m.
Between 7
Yeah, and then they wander around and
well, I think we need to look at better housing or better something for these people.
yeah, the homeless shelter right now, it's owned by Manitoba Housing, so, you know.
Well, yeah, government thing again, we just wait. So, okay, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving right along. 641.
Resolution number 2019-209, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Forster. Public utilities are not allowed to record deficits. The Public Utility Board, or PUB, requires that the public utilities recover utility deficits for a given year. And whereas there was a deficit in the amount of $276,107 in 2018, therefore be it resolved that the council authorize applying the 2018 utility deficit in the amount of $276,107 against the working capital surplus.
Great. Question? All those in favor? It's carried. 642.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Ward. Be it resolved that council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 20 in the amount of $104,454.69. General check numbers 23588 to 23624, 23626 to 23695, and 23697 to 23722 in the amount of $3,383,360.71. And then EFTs in the amount of $145,220.56.
Just so I remember the school division. Just in case anybody is wondering, it's, the $3 million is not a typical amount we spend, but of that, $2 million is going to the school division for the school taxes. Question? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. 643.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ward. Be it resolved that council authorize the following accounts in conflict. Check numbers 23625 and 23696 in the amount of $851.20.
Okay, so question? All those in favor? Abstained? It's carried. 644.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ward. Be it resolved that council approve deletions in the amount of $1,589 and additions in the amount of $6,074 to the 2019 real property tax roll as contained in the listing from Manitoba Municipal Relations as of October 2nd, 2019.
Cool. Question? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. 645.
If everyone remembers, when during our 2019 budget process, council approved the repair of the KRC sign in the parking lot. And an update was given not that long ago to basically upgrade the sign to LED and to upgrade the sign in general in terms of the picture that was depicted on the sign. So moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Be resolved that council approve the additional cost, the amount of $3,500 to upgrade the arena sign to an LED lighting system, and be it further resolved that council approve the new logo for the arena sign as recommended by the Recreation Director. If anyone hasn't seen the sign, feel free to ask to see what it looks like. It looks quite sharp.
Good. Question? All those in favor? Carried. 646.
So this resolution is about regarding the Robbins Donuts development over by Esso. And just for everyone, as an update for everyone who's listening, and wondering whether or not variations have been complied with. They have quite some time ago, so all that stuff is in order. And this agreement has specific deadlines and restrictions, and one of those being that if there are any issues, which I'm sure I've already heard a couple of people talking and asking me questions about traffic, if there are any issues, the agreement states that the developer will be responsible for making those arrangements to resolve any issue if there shall be one. So moved by myself, second by Councillor Murphy, be resolved that council authorize the mayor and the acting CAO to sign development agreement with JM Holdings Limited as per discussion in the in-camera portion of the October 15th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting. And this is, while some people may not necessarily be in favor, this is great to see some new development in the town. We need it for a number of different reasons.
Right. Question? All those in favor? It's carried. 647.
Resolution number 2019-215, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Resolved that council authorize the mayor and the acting CAO to sign the letter of understanding with the Community Foundation of Swan Valley Inc. with regards to the Endow Manitoba Build 150 program. And be it further resolved that council agree to contribute up to $10,000 as matching dollars towards the Endow Manitoba Build 150 program as per discussion during the in-camera portion of the October 15th, 2019 Committee of the Whole.
All righty. Question? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. 661, terminal parking lot.
Resolution number 2019-216, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Resolved the council authorize the airport manager to move forward with stage 1 of the terminal parking lot upgrade with monies to be expended from the airport reserve.
Question? All those in favor? It's carried. 662, accountable executive.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Lane. Resolved that council appoint the acting CAO generally as the accountable executive for the PAW Airport in accordance with Section 106 of the Canadian Aviation Regulation as per in-camera discussions during the October 15th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Question? All those in favor? It's carried. All right, committee reports, the museum board.
Oh, one more. One more left.
Nope, that's next, under unfinished. Yeah, it's listed on the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It's one of those things. Museum board.
No meeting since the last report of council.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, we did have a meeting, and the AGM will be next month, November 30th, 6 PM at the, pardon me? I thought he said the 20th. Oh.
You were thinking the 20th.
Yeah.
So November 20th, 6 PM at the museum, AGM for Chamber. That's it.
Sustainable Forest, no meeting. Citizens on Patrol, there was no meeting since the last one. CDC,
We have a meeting scheduled for Wednesday. There hasn't been any meetings as yet.
Destination Marketing,
I haven't heard anything about destination marketing really.
nothing.
Nothing. I think there's been an intake right now, I believe, and we would just be going through, I would imagine we'll be meeting in the next short while.
Okay. Cedar Lake,
In December, there will be a 2-day meeting. One will be board orientation that will roll into the evening and go into like a Christmas party type thing. And then the next day is meetings all again. So December will be the first one.
We need to get on that committee.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, well,
Meeting starts, you need to-
we're talking about that right away, are we?
Recycling Board,
No quorum, no meeting.
the Pot Community Renewal Corp.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting. They are setting up another one for the end of November.
Library Board,
Not since the last, no.
Scan,
No meeting yet.
Kelsey Planning District, there hasn't been a meeting recently.
Nope.
KSD Committee,
No meeting since our last, but we're doing a bunch of work behind the scenes here to set up for our next meeting. So I think thanks to Jen and her team, Graham and that, for the feedback on some of the details.
okay, that's it for committee reports. Unfinished business, 7-1, accessibility.
There we go. All right, so moved by myself, second by Councillor Lane, we resolve that council authorize the mayor and the acting CAO to sign a service agreement with Otis Canada Inc. to service the lifts at the Wellness Center and the Sam Walter Museum. Waller Museum. Walter.
All righty, question? All those in favor? Carried. Citizens period. You ladies would like to speak to us.
Yeah, can I speak?
Please, come up. And if you wouldn't mind just identifying yourself
Yeah,
again?
my name is Michelle Langlois-Rushton. Thanks for listening to me last time. And I was just wondering if anything was done. You said you were going to speak to Jamie Wilson, I think it was,
Yes.
Corporate Affairs of VIA.
Yep, I've sent him an email, the the linkages conference. It was far more people than I expected, and the timing didn't work, but I have been in touch with Jamie through the emails.
Okay.
And I haven't got anything to report back to you yet.
Okay, and I did phone Brent Young from HBR, he's the manager there.
Good.
And he did say, well, I guess there's always excuses, but the building does have asbestos in it. But I know there's people in town that can deal with that as well. Candy Jonas has taken the course, and I know a lot of her workers are able to control the asbestos if that has to be done. And if they don't want to tear it down, they should have to clean it up, put some siding on there or something, because looking at that vulgar graffiti is not appropriate, and it's got to be dealt with. I've talked to Glenda at the Legion. She's the manager there, and they're having the transients come in and out of the Legion as well, using washrooms. Actually, I was hoping she would have came here today too. Also spoke to the manager of the West Ghana, and he's having trouble as well with people hanging around the back of his building, and people don't want to stay there. And if there's tourists coming into town too, you have to pass by that HBR warehouse, and it's got to be frightening for them to see people hanging around there and defecating as they're coming in on the train. It's horrible for businesses downtown as well. There's something that has to be done. lost my train of thought there, but even today, I was downtown, I went to the bank, the CIBC, there were people hanging around there, and there was vomit on the floor as I was walking into the bank outside, I shouldn't say on the floor inside, but on the outside of the building, and I just think, you know, the town is becoming so run down, and I know this homeless shelter, a lot of people probably think it's a great idea, but I think we're enabling, and it's bringing a lot of people into town that are being kicked out of their own communities because of their behavior, and now we're dealing with it, and I don't think it's should be us who are dealing with it, the taxpayer. That can be going into our infrastructure. Our roads are horrible, and yeah, and what else did I want to get off my chest here? Yeah, I just hope something can be done with that HPR building. There was a fire there on Tuesday, actually. I was hoping that it would have went up in flames, but someone had started a fire. There were about 3 fire trucks, there were about 17 firemen, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a huge expense there as well, you know, so I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening again, but I don't want to become complacent, and I know there's been petitions that have been going around, and they bring it forward and nothing gets done, but yeah, I just want to make sure that I come and yeah, voice my concerns, and hopefully something is done.
Michelle, on a personal note, I'm very pleased that you keep doing this. It's good to see somebody involved and taking some proactive steps. It really is.
Thank you.
You know, I know I hear you. We're trying, but things move very, very slowly.
I know, and I've only been here since July, and I'm like, oh my God, ready to lose my mind already.
Well, please keep coming.
Yeah, I will.
Yes,
I will.
definitely.
And I know I did phone other people. I hope they come, and then maybe they will. And, you know, it's just that maybe nothing gets done, and maybe they just lose hope. I don't know. But
Keep coming, don't give up.
yeah, I will, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing for committee of the whole, so I guess motion to adjourn. All right, thank you.